Welcome to Sydney, Australia for the 2023 FIBA Women's Asia Cup. Today it's China up against Korea, day 3 in the FIBA Women's Asia Cup. There's the beautiful surrounds of Sydney that'll host us today. I'm Julia Montesano, and joining me in commentary is FIBA expert Mark Clark. And Mark, Korea do have their work cut out for them against a very strong China outfit this year.
Well, it's going to be a tough ask for this Korean team, but you know, in terms of head-to-heads, they've won 9 of the 20 games they've played in FIBA competitions, so they do know how to win the game. They have a way to win the game. They're just going to have to be perfect in how they go, because China have so many answers, so much flexibility in the options they can put on the floor.
So here is the schedule for today. Final scores between New Zealand and Lebanon, 76-45 New Zealand's way. Of course, China and Korea coming up next. That is for Group A. And then for the standings, we're going to take a look and see who's ahead. And it's New Zealand at the moment sitting on top of Group A. China can get themselves up to the top spot if they can win here. Korea 3rd, and Lebanon sitting in that 4th spot. So we're going to take a look at the teams warming up now. You can see the China fans in the house. They've been supporting their team all the way through this tournament, and they're out in force once again, hoping for another win. 2 wins in a row. They'll be hoping for a 3rd one. So we'll take a look at the teams coming out now, and here is Korea. They'd be pretty happy with their tournament so far, you think, Mark. A win yesterday, then a narrow loss to New Zealand on Monday. They'd come in with a bit of confidence.
Well, the loss to New Zealand is going to be the one that really hurts them in the crossovers. They're going to have a much tougher crossover unless they win. If they win, they would definitely take 2nd spot because of the points difference in the little 3-way league table. They'd have to win by 36 to go above China. So China's pretty much certain to win the group. But becoming 2nd would mean a crossover against the Philippines, who won their last game that you covered, and that's a much better prospect than facing the loser of Japan and Australia. No disrespect to the Philippines, but you'll be playing against the top 10 team in the world if you come 3rd in this group.
Here is China now. They're definitely a top 10 team in the world. Ranked 2nd. They've looked solid in their 2 wins, and we'll be hoping to avoid yet another silver medal at this tournament, Mark.
Well, I think that's the only question mark. It's been over a decade since they've won any international tournament, whether it be regional or on a world stage. This team is pretty much as close as they're going to get without actually doing it. This should be their tournament in terms of the players and everything else. This should be their tournament. They are the favourites, but you've got to get the win on the floor.
Absolutely. We're going to head down courtside now to hear the national anthems of both Korea and China in this highly anticipated Group A clash.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would invite you to be upstanding for the national anthem of the Republic of Korea. Please remain standing for the national anthem of China.
So a big round of applause at the end of that China anthem. And you can see the teams about to come into the middle, and as they have been, exchanging gifts, pleasantries before we get into the thick of the game. China getting into the middle and getting themselves organised. The referees for our game today, Prita Mongwi, Oh Xiong Chan and Jacqueline Dover, controlling things. Thailand, Malaysia and Australia. 3 very capable referees, and they're probably needed because this is going to be a very entertaining clash. Here is the Korean warm-up. You'll see they're starting 5 in a second. Both have very strong lineups, but Jisoo Park and Jeon Park, Mark, have been vital for this Korean team throughout this tournament.
Well, Jisoo Park is a superstar on the world stage. She is a real quality player. The difference between the 2 lineups is that she's pretty much like literally on her own on the inside in terms of real quality. Just depends how well this team shoot the basketball, because they're quick enough, their defense is going to be active enough. So the only 2 questions for me are they going to shoot the ball well enough, and how are they going to decide to guard Zhu Han? How are they going to decide to guard her? Are they going to go one-on-one with Jisoo Park? That's a matchup that is going to take a lot of Jisoo Park's effort. And I think they need to put more at the offensive end to be a factor if they're going to get the win. The other thing for them is their leadership from Danbi Kim is the other vital thing. The veteran at 33 really does do a super job. And she didn't start the first game against New Zealand. She started ever since. It's pretty much the same lineup that they've got, but can shoot the ball. Everyone on this team can shoot the ball. Will they do it today? That's the factor. It's not like they've got to outscore China, but they really do have to tick the scoreboard over enough to keep them in the game. Sun Yu-jung, the coach, a lot of pressure. Korea expects to be in the Olympic qualifiers. If they lose today, that's going to be a really, really tough ask. So big pressure game for coach.
Absolutely right. And China equally would be feeling the pressure. I mean, we've spoken about their record of coming second, and they're getting some words now from their coach, Zhong Wei. We're going to see a strong starting 5 as we have all tournament from the Chinese team. Siyu Wong, Li Wei Young, Mong Li, Shen Chi-pan and Shu Han. And we saw Shu Han both games, both double-doubles. So she's the one that looms large in this game once again. But of course, they have firepower off the bench. They have firepower everywhere. So it's not about stopping one player, as we know, Mark. It's about controlling the whole team. Yeah, but Zhu Han is a superstar. You know, if you're going to be a champion team on the world stage, everybody has a superstar, and then you have quality around. And so China have that balance. I really thought that Mong Li is an exceptional player who can really create for everybody else. Everyone else is solid. Their backcourt is quick. Their backcourt, if you leave them alone, can nail shots. And as I say, I think it really does come down to how Korea decide to play them defensively. What sort of tempo do they want on the game? I'm just not sure if they're getting to too much up and down. I think China have too much firepower. So knowing when to push and when to be under control is going to be a real key for Korea. But they're a world-class team, so they know how to do it. But they also lost heavily, very heavily, to China in last year's World Cup. Absolutely right. Last time these 2 teams met, it wasn't good reading for Korean fans, but if you're a China fan, you're backing your team all the way in. 2 wins already from 2 games, 2 double-doubles for Shu Han, who's in the center of that huddle on your screen now. They'll be feeling all the confidence and to finish at the top of their group. Korea, they want to cause an upset. They want to prove to this competition that they belong here. They belong in the medal contention. It'll be a big task for them to do, but they've got all the weapons. It'll be a great clash here in Sydney, Australia, as both teams enter the court. And we're nearly ready for action. You can hear the crowd getting up and about as well. A lot of China fans in the house. Welcome to Sydney. It's China who win the first tip in their FIBA Women's Asia Cup battle with Korea. And it'll be Mong Li who takes proceedings first. Young now, captain of China. Has done a great job of leading her team. Han just lost her first possession, and it's a good first up win for Korea.
Well, straight man to man, but obviously looking to help on Zhu Han as she goes to the inside. Little bump as she tried to make the cut, but the help was there, and that's how they got the deflection. Like the pressure on the perimeter, though. Nice start for Korea.
Here's Park. Goes for an early three. And Han's there for the rebound. She'll have a great battle with Jisoo Park today. One.
So that's really interesting, though. They went underneath the screen. They'll go underneath the screen until Korea start making shots.
Han thought about it. Now wants an option. Wang. Han gets it a bit more closer range. Park's there for the boards. And it was a heavy collision there with Lee Wei-young.
Well, you like it both ways because Jisoo Park was just protecting the basketball, and Lee Wei-young just ran into her, really.
Here's Lee now. Going up against Wang, the 2 point guards. Lee finds a way through, and she'll have 2 shots.
Well, they're not hanging around, Korea. That's 2 early looks where they've looked to push. The first one, a wide open 3. That was a good aggressive move. So they're challenging China to go on, but as we said at the beginning of the game, they've got to make. That's a shot she would want to make, expect to make. The open 3 is a shot they believe they can make enough of to win the game. So statement of intent is, I was interested to see how they would try and play the game tempo-wise. I still fear that China have just too much if they want to run up and down.
So Lee getting the first points on the board for Korea. They draw first blood in this important game in Group A. And straight away, we're going to have some bench movement here from China. Lee Wei-young coming off after that heavy clash, so we hope all is okay. And Wei Na-jin heading onto the floor, and again, Lee hitting the deck. Physical clash early, and Korea get another stop.
It's the great thing is they're digging in at the ball. The great thing is on their help, they're not just helping, they're digging in at the ball. And they're asking again, they're asking questions. You know, China struggled a bit to get going yesterday, and they're struggling to get going today.
Park been so dominant this whole tournament. And we'll go to the free throw line to get her first points of the game. So China with a couple of early fouls. It's not something we've really seen from them so far this tournament.
But they're having to deal with a team that's being very, very aggressive. And what a great option it is. You've got Jisoo Park running the pick and roll with the ball with the guard screen. And again, it's a different look. It's something that is going to, again, ask questions. That's all you can do. Ask the question, try and execute, and see what answers your opponent comes up with. But wouldn't every team love to have a 5 that can run the pick and roll like that?
First points on the board for Park, aiming to follow up that 9-point performance against Lebanon. Wang. Han. Mongli. Into Pan. And a good intercept there. Lee off and running now. Park, the woman who started it all, can't finish it.
Oh, you feel for her.
Lee shoves her fellow number 9 out of the way. And Korea have started this game exceptionally well. See here the contact between Mongli.
I don't think Lee made any attempt to play the basketball. They were in a bad position. She just bumped her.
Wang went under Lee. Didn't pay off. Kim being so vital for Korea in this tournament. Kang to Park. Kim wants it back and she gets it. Dumps it back into Park. Exceptional vision.
Well, timing is everything. You can't have a high IRQ if you don't give yourself a chance to read the page. And she read the page just beautifully. The cut from Park was really excellently timed. If you have a look, she just waits until she just freezes Wu Han. Once she's frozen her, easy too.
So some subs for Korea now coming onto the floor. An on for her first minutes. And Lee will take a seat. And then for China, Wan Li on the floor. Wang takes a seat. Mong Li went over the top of Kim. And China scramble for the rebound. Lee to Mong Li. Just trying to scoop it in, but Park was there with her. Kim now. Hasn't got much ahead of her, so she just has to stop. And eventually finds a way in herself. Timeout called. Korea with all the momentum in this game. 7-0. 3 minutes played. Here's the block from Jisoo Park. And then the basket on the other end from Dunbi Kim. It's all Korea at the moment. Let's head into China's huddle to see what they've got. So worrying signs for China early on. No points in the game yet. Korea look right on top. Their fans getting right behind them as well. They are probably outnumbered at the moment, but they're making so much noise. Getting right behind their team.
China have had no shot out of things they're running. They've had to try and been asked to create it for themselves and go out of what they're running. They've done a really nice job, Korea, asking people to make shots that they're not primary options. They've got to get something going here.
And that's exactly what they needed from Jin. Perfect response out of the timeout. Park now thought about it. Went to Jisoo Park, or Kim, sorry. Kim will get it back. And we'll go to work. Oh, a little backwards flick pass to An. China ball.
Well, it's a great reaction. Timeout, it's a great reaction. They run the little three-man play on the side of the floor. The defense gets frozen and sucked in on the penetration. Open player easy, and down this end, they just put a great defensive series together.
Lee to Han. Hasn't had the impact she would have liked so far.
That's offensive. Yeah. No, he's gonna call it on Korea. I won't mind seeing it again. I think Wuhan just hipped her as she tried to go past.
Could have been trouble there if it was offensive. Mong Lee's already got a foul for the game. Here she is with ball in hand now. Stepping Jisoo Park. Can't bank it in. Han's there for the boards. Trying to dump it out to Lee and travelled with the ball in hand. A very rare error from Shu Han. Coach Zhong Wei, not happy with that. Sorry, Wei Zhong. Park now. To Jisoo Park. And this time she moved her feet. So an offensive foul there. Both teams just conceding a few errors now out of that timeout. Lee. Still searching. Finds a way through, thought about it, and never looked confident with that shot. Ahn, off and running for Korea. Park, Kim. And Mong Lee hits the deck. Another offensive foul. And Mong Lee just holding her shoulder. It's very physical out there. Korea already have their 5th team foul. You can see they're a bit...
Well, if that's a foul, then the foul that was called, then the arm foul was the same. There was the same type of move. They called it defensive at one end, offensive at the other. It's an area of the game the officials are trying to make sure they clean up and are consistent on.
Mong Lee to Pan. Han for 3! That's much needed for China. It's now back-to-back threes within a point of Korea. Park gets a bucket of her own.
You know, Park's not the best three-point shooter in the world, so she doesn't step out to the three, but she takes the perimeter shot. It's like game on between those two.
5 points already for her. To go with a couple of rebounds, and she's in the action again. Streaming down the court, asking for Ahn to pass it to her. Kang, though, gets it to Kim. Ahn. Park. Pulls up. Can't knock it down. But Ahn, the smallest player out there, snaps it back out to Kang for 3!
Well, there's 2 great games today. This one and then the game with Australia and Japan. This tournament's coming alive in this game. Quality.
A cracker between the Philippines and Chinese Taipei earlier on as well. Great basketball in front of your eyes in the Women's Asia Cup. Oh, Mong Lee, the backwards pass to Han.
Well, we said before the game she was a massive difference maker, and she has that little bit extra that not every player has. The ability to create for herself and her teammates.
Kim now. Oh, she's just full of class. Always finds a way in. The Korean fans show their appreciation. Mong Lee. Not quite. China ball. So here's the pass from Mong Lee, pulling out all the tricks from her party bag. And Han's happy to receive it. Gao Song now onto the floor for China. And Korea also want a sub. So Lee and Ahn will swap places. Han, quick release, quick basket.
I mean, she's obviously she's been around for a number of years now, but you've seen her develop in front of your eyes. That shot now is so solid.
7 points already for Shu Han. Dangerous signs if you're a Korean fan. Dunbi Kim, Park, travel. So Park feeling the frustration.
Getting 0 love from the official at the moment.
So Jong Sun-min calls a timeout for her Korea team. 14 points to 10 is the lead for the Korean team here in Sydney. 3 minutes left to play in the first half. Here she is.
지금 싱글이기 때문에 얘가 다 너네한테 한 명씩 가서 스크린하기가 힘들어. 니네끼리도 주고 받다가 스크린하는 척하다 받지. 니네끼리도 2대2 스크린하는 척하고 빠지고 하라고. 그러다가 얘가 있는 쪽에서 볼을 잡았을 때 2대1을 해주라고. 이해하겠지? 래퍼 하다 갈게요. 래퍼 하다가 움직이면서 찬스 보라고. 좋아.
little bit misleading, that stat where it goes, oh, all the 14 points have come from the starters. We're only 7 minutes into the game, so you know, contributions off the bench you will get from the Koreans. They are very interchangeable, obviously apart from Jisoo Park, but the more worrying thing for China is that all this tournament they've shared the ball beautifully. They only have 4 assists. That'll put them on like looking to get 16 on the game if it stays at that average. And they share the ball a lot better than that normally, and they break the defense down more than that normally. But it's a great start for Korea defensively.
Oh, and already straight out of the timeout, Park stops, gives it to Kang. Lee to Kim. Here's Jisoo Park. Going to work on Shu Han and getting through the defense.
You've got 2 of the world's premier centers going at each other here. Both really skilled, both have inside-outside options.
It's been excellent viewing so far. Jin nearly loses it and does lose it in the end. Lee picked it up out of nowhere, popped up the shot and got it to go. An 8-point lead for Korea, just like that. 2 quick buckets out of the timeout.
Both coaches calling timeouts have got a great reaction out of their the guys on the floor.
Wan Lee pulls up from 3. Mong Lee this time has a go. She's not successful either. And a foul called on the rebound. Here's the basket from Jisoo Park, spinning around Shu Han. I bet she hasn't done to her that much. Jisoo Park's on another level.
And there's the example of that defensive effort. Digging at the basketball, and then they turn that defensive pressure, that defensive intensity into points in transition. That gives them the 18-10 advantage. And you just can't say enough great things about the way that they've really come out in this game and challenge what China do. Great scout by their staff as well. They're literally taking them out of anything they've tried to run so far, with the exception of the play they ran coming out of the timeout when they got the open look.
The only problem for Korea is in the bonus now. Won't worry too much with 1:51, but 2 fouls already for Kang.
And don't forget, you know, China were on the 3-team foul mark after 2 minutes. You know, they've been really disciplined to not give up any more fouls.
Jin misses both. Mong Lee let Jin take it, but it wasn't the right call in the end. Park to Lee. And share it around. Jisoo Park now.
That's a push, yeah. And why
So the
wouldn't it?
Korean bench, look how up and about they are. A completely different story to the China bench at the moment. Lee Wei-young coming on just for some poise and some leadership as we approach this last 90 seconds of the first period. Kang into Park. Doesn't want to move yet. Now goes. Han's right there with her and blocks her. Big rejection from Shu Han. Mong Lee gets that taken off her as well. It's electric pace as Park stops and props, kicks it out to Kang for 3. Oh, that is sweet from Lee-Sul Kang. 21-10 Korea lead. 51 seconds left. China needs something, just something. Mong Lee double teamed. Travel call.
There's another example of Mong Lee's outside of the system, trying to create. We're going to get a look at the block. That's just a serious. Before the block, the defense she played to give herself the chance to block was exceptional. But Korea are asking China to make moves out of their, not within their structure. And there you get a travel, then you get other breakdowns.
Kang again. That one just rolls out. Lee to Young, they still want to move quickly. Shuhan, that's a good settler. Han is carrying this China team on her back right now. Gao. What does China have left? 10 seconds now, down 21-12. Can they bring some momentum back to Zhong Wei's huddle? Lee doesn't let it off in time. And a scintillating opening quarter from Korea comes to an end. They lead it over China, 21-12. And the Korea fans, Mark, show a bunch of respect. What a quarter they played. That might be the best quarter they've played in years.
That is definitely the best quarter they've played in years.
There's the stats on your screen now.
And Korea, if you took away the last possession, couldn't really have done anything better. The last shot they took when they could have held for the last possession, that is. Their work in transition is excellent. The tempo they're running when they actually get the ball is excellent. These best plays of the first quarter will have lots of examples of how this team are just sharp and how they execute incredibly well at pace. And it begs the question, where was that in the opening day? Maybe they were a little undercooked when they came in. But they have just been incredible. This isn't a Chinese team that are taking the game off. They've just been taken out of what they want to run. And it's just an exceptional performance by Korea. And Jisoo Park's been tremendous, but she's going to have to put in a very long shift. And I suppose it's who blinks first in terms of the rotation of Woo Han or JC Park, because neither team has anyone to replace either of that player. It's a different look combination. But I love the switch in, the intensity of the way the Koreans are playing it, that the way that they attack the basketball. They don't just switch, they attack the basketball, they've broken it up, and they do this. This is the best example of Korea in transition. They're spread, they're wide, they've got numbers down the floor, and they take a wide open three, which is what they like to do. They can't put a better quarter on the floor than that. Their trouble is now they've got to do it relentlessly for three more. Otherwise, this Chinese team will wear them down. They've got bodies on the bench that will come in. You know, this is basically, for Korea, it's an opportunity to really enhance their chances of getting a medal and getting an Olympic qualification. That's why they're playing that way.
Sorry, Mark, is the Courtside 1891 app. Download it. Second period tipping off. Korea with the 21-12 lead over China on this final day of group games here in Sydney, Australia. The FIBA Women's Asia Cup about to come to a crescendo over the next couple of days. Semi-finals on the line. Jisoo Park knows that, but can't get that first shot to go.
That's not a good start. You know, settling for a jump shot.
And Shuhan has a chance to make her pay instead. Lee goes to work. Oh, a little scoop behind the back to Han. Can't convert. Now Park can get moving. Lee finds Kang, a big three-pointer before the break. Doesn't have the same result this time. Lee to Mong Lee, to Wan Lee, to Mong Lee. Oh my goodness! Scintillating stuff from the Chinese team. Here is the basketball that you like to see in the Women's Asia Cup. Such quick passes. And no surprise to see Mong Lee on the end of it all. Here's some subs for Korea as well. Kim coming off the floor. Hae-Ran Lee takes her place.
Interesting to see how they do without Nambi Kim on the floor, because she's done a bit of everything. She's a steadying influence, she's the leader. So without her on the floor, it'd be interesting to see if they can just keep the same intensity and belief.
Park dumps it in. Jisoo Park now. Here's a 3 attempt. It's just not working so far for Korea. And China, on the other hand, Lee with the pace. Can't bounce that one in.
Oh, they really dodged the bullet there because their defensive transition was poor. And then again, they had a dig at the basketball and got the break.
The boos are because they're calling it a Korea ball. Let's take a look at the replay. Won Lee.
Well, it is a Korea ball because she stayed with it and threw it forward. I don't really think the... no, that's a really poor... That's a really poor piece of officiating.
Wei Zhang's happy.
I don't
much as she doesn't look it, but...
I don't normally, as a rule. I love the fact they talk, but you saw clearly on the replay that the ball came off of the guard. Now, they didn't want to call a foul. That's their call. That's up to them.
Let's see if China can capitalize on another chance here. Mong Lee for 3. That is sweet! And they make you pay, China. Mong Lee has scored all their points so far to get them back within reaching distance of Korea. 6 points for Mong Lee. Here's Lee, great move, and she'll go to the charity stripe.
China have got to be so happy, though, with the way they've started this quarter defensively. They've slowed the movement of the ball down. The person with the dribble has not had as many options as they had earlier in the game. And you know, that's something they must have talked about in the quarter break, and they've really put it on the floor. It's up to Korea now. You know, they asked some questions of China. China have come up with an answer. Now Korea have got to find a way to execute better off the ball so they can keep that swinging the ball to a first and second side and to stretch that defense and give Jisoo Park some space to play.
So a sub for China after those 2 free throws are made. Wang back onto the floor to control things. Wan Lee's had a good little stint as point guard though. He Jian takes Lee's place. Lee's had a fantastic start. 6 points for her. Gao. Oh, into Mong Lee. And again, she finds herself on the bottom of the floor. The ref's getting involved here.
Well, if I'm on a bench and you know you want to make the point, you are going to get up. The official's got to keep the assistants sitting down. It's not a great look when there are 3 assistant coaches asking for an unsportsmanlike foul. The foul's called. They've called it in the action of shooting. Questionable because she ball faked and stayed down. But that doesn't matter. The refs have made the call.
Mong Lee has just been everywhere. It was all about Shu Han in the first term with 9 points, and now Mong Lee up to 6 points herself. So much noise in the arena, but she manages to drain it. He Jian gets to work. Jisoo Park, Shu Han. The dominant force of China's team. Mong Lee for another 3. Han's there for the board, so too was Park to meet her straight away. This time Wang has a go. And it'll be a Korea ball. Foul on China.
It's one of those games where there's so much contact, so much quickness and activity that it's one of those games where someone's going to be unlucky. And what I mean by that is that they're going to call one person and they might get them twice because there's so much contact, which I think is pretty legal, most of it. But the speed of the game, in transition, the referees have got to really concentrate on what they call here.
Kim back on the floor. It's a good sub for Korea. She nearly made the most of it, but they get another opportunity. Kang to An. Goes underneath, but Shu Han, of course she's there.
And
block queen.
Suhan, just tremendous the way she adjusted there defensively, because Jisoo Park came to the side. She thought normally if you get a little bit caught, you follow the screen, but she saw the player going the other way and stayed. And that's, as well as effort and as well as talent, that's just a great IQ of reading the floor.
Mong Lee comes off for a well-deserved break for China. Kang into Kim. Just pops up a little shot. And good pressure there by China. Ru Zhong on for some minutes. Wang to Han. Li Wei Young. That one's not good. Kim. An. Korea leading by 4. Jisoo Park wants to extend that lead. Gao. Wang.
However they manage to do it, they've got to get Jisoo Park some minutes.
And that might work. An's got no one ahead of her. Waits for Kang. Oh, that is sweet from Lee Soo Kang. She's getting a lot of love from the Korea bench as well. That's a crucial bucket. It's been a bit dry in terms of scoring in the past few minutes. China have been slowly working their way back into this game. But the foul won't help them. Here's the 3 from Lee Soo Kang. Such a great release.
Some interviewer is going to have to ask her, has she ever seen a shot she doesn't like? Because she can just fill it up. It doesn't matter if you're guarding her or not. When she's going to shoot it, she's going to shoot it. Beautiful high release. It's great touch.
Kim wants Park to go. Instead, Kim goes on her own, and that's a great finish from Danbik Kim.
You sure she's sure? Well, you sure she's 33? I mean, she's playing for all the energy of it being her first Asia Cup, not her. She made a debut in 2011. She's been doing this for 12 years, a great level. Super, super finish.
She was going to retire, but she's sort of postponed it, kept playing, and luckily she has. She's still got it by far.
A travesty if she retires. Look at what she. I know, at some point you have to call time, but she's in the shape of her life. Her IQ is so high. The way the rest of the team just look up to her as a leader is just phenomenal.
Wong makes both free throws. An. Into Kim. She wants some company. Oh, through the legs to Park. Kang. She's hit a couple of threes already. This time the 2 is good as well. Lee Soo Kang's on fire. Gao now for China. Her team down by 9. They'll get another chance at this offensive set. And we just can't get enough of these Kang replays.
They need to get her the ball a lot. I mean, she doesn't need a second invitation, but the minute she's really feeling it inside, like on the penetration and with the pull-up.
Wang doesn't have quite the same fortune as Kang. Coach Wei Zhong, tense as ever.
Well, it looks like Han and Park are going to go the whole game. There's no indication either coach believes they can play without them. Both of them are sucking air already. You know, they've played 15 and a half minutes against each other. And I don't think either coach will take them out if they stay in. It's not as if they've got other options. And it's not about now, though. It's about fourth quarter. That's what worries me about Park as much as anything else.
It's entertaining for us as viewers to see two centers go at it. But don't discount Li Wei-young, who gets the call for China. Great hands.
It's a great crowd. These Chinese fans are just out in force.
Don't discount the Korea fans as well. There's a small contingent, but they're as loud as ever as well. Got to hear the noise. Next time we get free throws, it's deafening. And Park with some crucial hands there. Can she get in on the offensive end? It gets tapped away from her. Korea ball.
You can't play the way they're playing today anyway, their rules on the post, any better than Korea. Just the guard just bumped the cut before she gets the deflection. That stopped that direct cut to the ball. And the guard just put her body on the line and slowed Han up. Park's going to sit down now with 4 to go in the first. And it's, you know, we've got a big enough lead. We can cope and get some minutes on the bench for her. Depends, see how they're going to play this now.
Kim. Han gets it to Wang. A chance for China to capitalize in Park's absence. Wang just barking some instructions to her teammates. They look as stagnant as they've ever been.
Yep.
Han into Gao. That's better, but couldn't complete her good work. And Kim is off. Put the afterburners on, gave it to Kang. Oh, and she traveled as well.
Just changed her pivot foot. It didn't look right, and unless without seeing a replay, you can never really categorically say, but it just didn't look right. So the referee's, well, he's right because she's right. She made the call, but.
And just Park looking exhausted on the bench there. I don't know if it's an injury or if it's just.
I think it's
the
just.
Heat.
I think it's just. I've been playing against Juan for like the last 16 minutes. Give me some time here. But I've gone without Kim as well at the same time, and that's an interesting decision.
Wang. China needs some points. And Shu Han can't deliver. Gao also can't deliver. The shots just aren't falling for China. We haven't seen this all tournament. An to Park. We'll get it back. Shu Han. Wang. China still down by 9. 2 from 10 this quarter from the field. Can Gao change that? Still. Zhang, good hands. Oh, but even better hands there from Lee. And a great transition basket for Korea. So we're going to have a timeout before the ball is inbounded. Look at this replay here. A great steal and finish from Hae-Ran Lee, giving Korea an even bigger buffer as we head to the timeout.
Well, that stat tells you everything, I think. They're averaging 12 turnovers across the tournament. I know they've had 2 easy wins, but they've already turned it over 12 times. They're on course for 20 turnovers in the game. That's really not Chinese basketball, but that's a testimony to just the way that Korea are getting the ball on the floor, doing enough to contain it, but then attacking it from one pass away or attacking it on their help. They're just not trying to protect the basket, they're attacking the ball, and it's to turn China over that many times in 18 minutes of basketball, that's a great defensive effort.
Mong Lee will inbound the ball for China, back on the floor for a crucial 2 minutes as we look to end the opening half. It's been a fantastic display of hoops here. Zhang Han with the outstretched arms over Young. And now Park thought about the three and went inboard instead. That one just falls out. Young has got Zhang ahead of her instead. Dumps it into Wang for the M1.
Not the smartest foul you'll see here in this game. Had the unopposed. You're not really going to block that. If you're going to foul, you can't let them have the M1. And just clumsy. Gives them a chance to go 5-0 coming out of the timeout. And they did that the last time they took the timeout. They came out, picked up defensively, and turned that defense into points.
And there you go, the 5-0 run out of the timeout. It prompts yet another timeout. Korea 32, leading China 36. A minute 52 left in this opening half. Tense times for both teams. Let's head inside the Korea timeout.
F로 가져가서 진짜 정상적으로 해. 지수가 여기 서 있다가 얘 보내고 다운스크린 가서 올라오지. 이거 다운스크린 정확하게 가져. 올라오면 실찬스 안 되지. 올라오는 사람들 바로 2대1 픽앤롤하라고. 빨리 넓게 나가. 수비 안 줘도 될 거를 준단 말이야.
See the stats of Shu Han there, 11 points today. She's averaging 17, would you believe it? Already on the verge of a double-double, 7 rebounds to go with her 11 points. Averaging a double-double, so
yeah,
you'd back her in to do it.
But she needs some help. I mean, she's playing incredibly well. Look like they're going to show the 2-3 zone. If they stay in it, it'll be interesting. Or are they just going to match up straight out of it? Yeah, they showed it, and then they'll just match straight into it, into the man-to-man.
Jisoo Park back on the floor. That's a big in, out of the timeout. Ji-Yoon Park shows what she can do. Zhang to Wang. Under the last minute and a half. China down by 8. Young, Han, once again. Just eats baskets for breakfast, really. Incredible to watch. 13 points. Oh, Park into Kang. Couldn't finish it off. They get another chance here. And the call is an offensive foul?
No, that's not an offensive foul.
Let's take a look at the replay in the meantime and see the great work here from Park. Dumping it in. And then on the other end, Shu Han just reaching over the top of the defense. And Siyu Wang will come off for a spell. 3rd foul for her, so she's one to watch.
I mean, you can't see it. Obviously we're in the gym, we can, but Zhu Han is hands on knees, sucking out. You know, I'm sure she's in great shape. Obviously, she's in great shape. But 20 minutes, most of that against Park Ji-Soo, and it's a tough ask. However talented and a superstar that she is. So Chinese staff just invest in this whole game in her ability to stay out there.
Wan Lee, she'll have to add some extra minutes to her usual output with Wang in foul trouble. Shu Han again! In it goes! She's bringing her team back into it bit by bit. Jisoo Park, on the other hand, has dropped off a bit. Can she get back into it here? Spinning around Shuhan.
Oh, that's just
hedging out for the rebound. Park there again, and China somehow escape. Li Wei-young at the other end brings the house down. China within 4. We're 10 seconds away from half-time. What do Korea have left? Jisoo Park, it's in the right hands, puts up a 2 and drops it right on the buzzer. She knows all about big moments. She silences the China crowd just for the time being. But strap yourselves in, because at halftime it's Korea 38, leading China 32. What a half we've witnessed. Everyone feeling it. Kong's got the ice. As we take a look at the stats, it'll tell a big picture in Korea's favour.
Well, they've whipped through those stats a little bit quick for you, but what it tells you is that the Korean defense has really ignited them into points in transition. And what it really tells you is that this game is just an elite level game. Both coaches are really unhappy with the amount of contact on shots. They both complain a lot to the officials. If I'm Korea, I wouldn't really moan that much. They've got a way of a lot of digs at the basketball, and if it carries on that way, it's going to help them. But just the stars. The trouble for China, I suppose, is that it's all really about Zhu Wuhan. Like she's had to carry them in so many ways. She's protected the ring, scored, been out there for 20 minutes. And whereas Korea have shared it, they've got different contributions in different ways across the floor. That's great for them, but as we said right at the beginning of the game, they've played as well as they've played in the whole competition. They're going to have to be perfect. Can they play at this level for 20 minutes? If they can, they're in the game, or will just China wear them down? But the minutes Wuhan might be an issue in the fourth quarter if this is close. Those 3 or 4 minutes that Park Ji-soo got, it could be a really important facet and really contribute at the end of this game.
So a big quarter from both teams. Korea still leading at the half. China outscored them 20 points to 17. But for now, we're going to farewell you for halftime, but don't go anywhere. It is Korea 38 leading China 32 at Sydney Olympic Park.
Unique character. Unique chemistry.
FIBA Basketball World Cup is the peak of the game.
It's the toughest competition in the basketball world to win.
That is why I will be there.
Because when you win for one,
You win for all.
Han sets, instead drives in herself with a bit of speed for the big girl. Bernardino just lifts herself over the defense. This time she's trapped, kicks it out to Young, and Dalton, active hands, wants to keep it in so desperately, reverses it in.
Is Rochi exploring coast to coast, rushes up the floor, gets the 2, draws a foul, chance at a 3-point play again for Maddie Rochi.
Mongley, off and running, she wants a piece of this party! And gives Ledger Walker a little stare down as she goes. Heading to the charity stripe for the N1.
Wants help, Hung. Penetration, the spin was good, finish even better. One of the best plays we've seen from her in this game.
Animam, Bernardino Castillo from 3 for some space and the N1! That's a big basket for the Philippines. Takada just flies over Mauli's head. It allows De Jesus to get up the other end of the floor. Animam, perfect.
Great no-look pass from De Jesus out there to her teammate Amaran, who's streaming down the court in the middle.
Oh.
And then Tamilo again sends it back to New Zealand with that swat. She's feeling it. Victoria Tamilo says no.
Kang again puts it on the floor, attacks the space, goes upstairs to Park.
Oh, that's that pass you talk about with it big. Get it up in the air, let her bring it in. Big smiles on the face, and you don't see that often from the Korean players. It's nice to see.
Welcome back to Sydney Olympic Park at halftime. It's Korea 38 leading China 32 in this FIBA Women's Asia Cup Day 3 clash. The second last game in the group stage. One more to go. Australia up against Japan tonight. We saw the leading stats there for Korea. They've had a scintillating opening half, Mark Clark, and they've really shocked China. China have no answers at the moment. I wonder what Coach Wei Zhong had to say at the halftime huddle, because it wouldn't have been pleasant.
Well, they've got to take care of the basketball is the first thing. I mean, they're averaging 10 turnovers a game so far. Again, we said against lesser opposition, but they have 13. They've also, and that's only half the story though. They've turned it over, but Korea have turned those turnovers into points. And Korea have 18 points from those 13 turnovers. That's a great return. And the way they committed to the point of transition, so the ball gets turned over and they have bodies down the floor, and that, as big as anything, that's a large chunk of Korean offense. So that's the first thing. Take care of the ball, and you remove that option. And in addition to that, they've just got to execute better, China, because Korean's defense has taken them out of the things they want to run. Every time Korea don't take a possession off, every time they're not able to do that, China get a good look. And then, because if they do that and they still have Wuhan, they're in good shape. And it's easy for me to sit here and say, fix those things, but you've got to do it against a Korean defense that's really made some decisions in the scout, and have executed them really well. Down the other end, like, at the end of the day, we said if they shoot well enough, they've got a chance. They have shot, they haven't shot the lights out, but 38% from three against China. They've only shot nearly just 40% from two, but that's the level of the game. The game has been intense, challenge on a lot of shots. So, as we said right at the beginning of the game, it's up to Korea to ask the questions and have China got enough. Well, I personally felt that they would have answers. At the moment, Korea have given themselves a real shot, largely out of their defense. Take care of the ball, and I still think China will win, but can they? I really don't know. I'm so impressed with Dan B. Kim, so impressed with the guard, so impressed with, I'm impressed with Khan as well. I mean, we know that she loves a shot, and loves to score. But first few minutes in this third quarter will tell you, have China made an adjustment? Have China, worked it out? They'll execute better. The guards will make sure that they get into what they want to run, or are they going to? Do they think they'll just have to rock out here, carry on doing it, and they'll get the win? If that's what they do, I don't think they get it.
You saw Shuhan stretching there on the screen. She's played a mountain of minutes, hasn't sat down at all.
No.
Does it change in the second half? Do you try and manage her? We know what they've got to come, obviously semi-finals and all that, but is this the game where she plays the whole thing?
It's unlikely, even if China lose, that they don't still win the group. So they get 2 days off, and that's a big deal. But I was surprised Coach had to go 20. It's not like you're going 20 where she can rest, because for 17 of those minutes, she's guarding Park. So that's a hard 17. As I said, I think that's fourth quarter issues. If, regardless of what shape you're in, if you're mentally being challenged for that long without a chance to just gather yourself, I think that that could become a factor. And it will be, she'll take 10 and she'll miss 1 or 2 extra. That might be all it takes for Korea to get the win. I tell you who really do want them to work it out, and that's the New Zealand team, who did the job and did the work early in the competition. But if Korea get the win, New Zealand will slip to third and will play the loser of Japan and Australia. I don't care who wins or loses that game. That's a hell of a matchup.
Absolutely. And I suppose back to the game itself, we spoke about Shuhan, but on the opposite end, Jisoo Park, we saw her play for lots of minutes, and then she sat down for an extended period as well. So how crucial is her role now to keep staying out there and keep fighting against Shuhan?
Well, if she's as effective as she was in the first half, they have a chance to win. If she's not, that really does, because they would become so reliant on spreading the floor and making some threes. But also, you saw a couple of occasions when she was out, Shuhan was just too easy a target. That's their issue. It's they can gang up, they can triple, double team, whatever they do. But Shuhan's that good, China can pass the ball to her, that she has to stay in the game. Be interesting to see how coach tries to get, if she feels she needs to, some minutes on the bench into her.
좀 더 적극적으로 파울이라도 오겠다고 생각하고 피하지 말고 몸싸움 해서 하라고. 알겠지?
So Korea with their final words ahead of a massive second half. Can they keep it up? They have shocked China out of their shells. China have been one of, if not the most dominant team in the tournament so far. And on your screen now is the QR code where you can read all about their dominance. You can watch all about it. Courtside 1891 streams, schedules and scores from the FIBA Women's Asia Cup. Everything you need to know about the tournament as we look to the next stage. Today is the last day of group games, a rest day tomorrow, then semi-finals. There's a relegation game as well. There's so much action in this tournament, and it's right here at Sydney Olympic Park. So we're all ready to go for the third period. It is Korea 38 leading China 32 in front of a raucous crowd here in Sydney. China couldn't get the start they wanted, so it allows Korea to move through Lee. Park now. Lee sets instead, moves inbound. Kim. What can she do with all her class and experience? She gives it to Jisoo Park, equally as much class and experience. That time didn't pay off. Wan Lee. Shuhan. Shuhan! Good start for China. The start they needed, really. There was no other option.
How good, how composed, how much under control was she? Confronted by Jisoo Park.
Danbi Kim now goes under. Kang up against Mong Lee. The shot falls short. Here's Wan Lee now. Young into Han. Zhang there with strong hands to pull it down. Kept it in the court. Han wanted Mong Lee, instead got Yuan Lee. Shot clock down to 4. And Lee, as sweet as ever, knocks it down. First 2 buckets of the half to China, and just like that, they're back within 2.
That's a great decision because they've played that way against the pick and roll the whole time. Jisoo Park will just zone it. The stop and pop is available to the guard. Obviously, they've got to make it.
Danbi Kim can't get a settler. And China with potential to level the scores through Mong Lee. Oh, Jisoo Park at the right moment sends Korea back up the other end. Danbi Kim spinning around Wan Lee and will head to the line for 2. And here's Jisoo Park just getting right in the way of Mong Lee. Was expecting an easy glide into the basket. But
and
Korea's defense standing up.
Both bigs, for all their quality and all their ability, both of them at various points have gone the whole distance to get back and challenge shots.
Kim knocks down the first.
You know, stuttering start to the second half, but then Kim takes a reasonable jump shot the possession before, then gets to the basket, makes the throw, and all of a sudden, you start to feel a little bit more comfortable as a team because she's out on the floor with you.
Some good settling free throws for Korea. It leads back out to 4. Han into Zhang. Wan Lee sets herself for 3. And a foul called, Korea ball. So the foul was on Ru Zhang.
Everyone looked at each other and wasn't sure who was called for who. That's a bit of a giveaway then, that no one was really sure.
So crowd coming to a hush. They're riding every wave of this game. And the pressure means that Park has to receive it on the sideline. Into Lee, and now Kim. They just can't find any space inside Korea at the moment. Lee. Jisoo Park. Touched it. Means it goes the way of China. She's, of course, pleading her case. So many tense faces around the arena, everywhere you look. Han. Into Young. Han's calling for it. She's harassed by Jisoo Park. And it affects the pass. Kim. There's some space for her to run into. Instead, she hands it off to Park. And that shot's missing. Wan Lee puts the jets on. Oh, how did she do that? Wan Lee just parted the seas.
There's your highlight. That's just a super duper move.
Can't wait to see that on replay as Kang fights with Young and then pulls up for a 2. She's been rock solid all game, Lee Soo-kang. Lee, what can she do this time? Gives it off to Zhang. Now Han driving in, the mismatch works in her favor.
They have executed so much better in the first 4 minutes of this second half. They've got shots out of sets they're running, and that they really didn't get that in the first half.
2-point margin here the way of Korea. They're desperately looking to extend it, but there was an offensive foul. Let's take a look at this though from Wan Lee. Oh, just sending Lee on skates. And then Kang at the other end with all the composure, just to give Korea that tiny little buffer, because China are coming. We knew they would. I'm sure Korea knew they would come. 8 points to 4 in this third period already. Dunby Kim takes a seat. Subs for both sides. What can they produce? Han, can she hit a 3? Not quite. Park gets moving to Lee. Oh, that is fantastic ball movement by Korea. What can Mong Lee do with it for China? Pulls up over the head of Lee. My goodness. Back within 2 points. What a cracking game this has turned out to be. Park gets it into Jisoo Park. It's out of her reach, but she clasped onto it like it's her first child and forces the jump ball. Here's the replay there. Some great ball movement from Korea, and Lee is able to finish it off. And then on the other end, Mong Lee. That's easy pickings for her.
Same as you said before, because they're going to play the pick and roll that way. That pull up, as you come off the screen, just pull up short, you're going to have an open look.
So here's why Jisoo Park's feeling it a bit. Got kneed in the head.
She's not giving that up though, is she?
Absolutely not. Wei Na-jin just getting in the way. And Jisoo Park has to come off. So potential big story here for Korea if she's unable to return. Really holding that forehead of hers. And the ice will come straight on. Head in hands. Absolutely hope she's okay. We'll bring you updates as they come. Kang, meanwhile, wants to get on with things out there. And the shot clock expires, so that's not going to work for them. And China could potentially level it here on this possession. Or take the lead if they want to go from beyond the perimeter. Ball's literally in their court. Wan Lee. Referee is just stopping the game for a sec. I think it was a
shot clock started. Yeah, started Well, I'm not sure, but that's what he pointed to. Wasn't happy. I'm not really sure what didn't start, because 16 seconds feels about right.
So just having a check. And the crowd getting involved, led by the Chinese fans. They've been here every step of the way, every game. There is not an empty seat in the house. It's only about to get fuller somehow when Australia face Japan up next.
So important without Jisoo Park on the floor for Korea to do what they did when she was out before. Just spread it a little bit more. Try and get Wuhan out of the keyway. Try and stretch her, and then just back themselves. Everybody's a shooter on the floor. Get a good one. If you can't get something in transition that they've done very well at, get a shot you want. Don't just settle because your superstar's not on the floor. And they didn't do that in the first quarter, because this is China stepping it up. If they weather this, they're in great shape for the rest of the game, Korea.
We forget as well that Lee Soo-kang's actually been leading the way in their scoring as well, so she's been just as crucial as anyone. Yep. She's on the floor at the moment. She's just had some words, some messages for her team just then. And it looks like we're going to get a bit of an extended delay here with the shot clock. We're getting an official review. So we'll stand by and see what the refs evaluate out of this situation. But either way, a bonus timeout in a sense for each team is exactly what they both needed.
Well, it's a big plus for Zhu Han. She's getting an extra some time. She's not sitting down, obviously. She can't leave the floor, but just to get a blow, she's obviously got the advantage of the moment of Jisoo Park being on the bench. And if she doesn't come back, then she's obviously got some form of concussion or something like that, because there's nothing that's going to stop her coming back onto the floor except someone medical saying you're not going. And with the safeguards and everything in place at the moment, obviously she cannot, override that or force herself and override those decisions.
So we're taking a look at a replay here. Nothing there telling us what the issue is with the shot clock, so the referees have to keep looking.
It was a 24-second violation. That should be pretty straightforward.
Did it hit the ring? Is that the question?
I don't think it hit the ring. And the buzzer goes off just before she shoots the ball, because it was bouncing around on the floor with 1 second to go. And the 24-second and the game clock should be synced.
4:42. Yes, okay. So when your whistle went just then, it was on 17 shot clock, not 16. So we are taking the 7 seconds of 50.
43. 4:42. Yeah. 4:43.
In the front court.
So confirm. 4:43. Front court. All right. Thank you so much.
Well, those 5 seconds could be crucial. I mean, it's obviously the right thing to do to get it right.
Especially in a game like this, just a game of moments. You can see the margin's only 2 points. You imagine it be close for most of the game, the way it's panning out to be. Every call's crucial. The coaches have been up in arms, questioning the referees' every move. Both teams know how much this one means. China want to go back to back in group games. Korea want to cause the biggest upset of the tournament. And they're on track if they can keep this lead up. But here comes China. Wan Lee will go to the line for 2 with a chance to level the scores. So fouls on Haeron Lee. Won Lee is able to knock down the first. 5th point of the game for her. 3 rebounds, 2 assists. And levels the scores. Can Korea take back the lead with this possession? An, Park. Loses it. And Zhang hands it off to Mong Lee, to Yuan Lee. Jin wasn't quite expecting it. Hard was. There you go. China back in front in this contest. Bit by bit, they've worked their way into the game. Timeout called. China 46, leading Korea 44. The crowd going wild as their Chinese players come to the bench. But we're going to bring you into the timeout of Korea for the time being and see what Coach Sean Min Jong has to say.
Well, they've shot 86% in this period, because the shots are either off what they want to run or in transition. And the last play sums it up, because Wuhan just again outworked her opponent, and they shared the ball. And the great news for Korea is that Park is back. She looks bright and she's fine. She has the advantage there of getting some minutes on the bench, but hopefully she's not groggy in any way, shape or form. But game time, game on the line.
Look in the front court, Jisoo Park back out there. Korea fans be breathing a sigh of relief. It could have been a very serious injury, but here she is on cue, up against Shuhan, backs out of it. Lee, she wants a piece of Shuhan and gets it.
Drags Zuhan out of the middle just to give her enough space to get it away. And that's because Park's back in the game.
Zhang. Lee, it just falls out of her hand. She's able to rescue it. Double team means Han was free. And that's not the player you want to be free. Luckily, it didn't fall.
But that's the part, she's going to make one in a minute after I'm going to say this, but that's the part of the game that will go. Her legs will just go in terms of her field goal percentages.
Lee's got all the legs in the world. Hits the 3. Back-to-back buckets for Lee. And a good response out of the timeout again. It's been a trend throughout the game. Han. Wan Lee. Pulls up. Can't knock it down. Kang has been huge. Lee. Happy to slow things down for the time being. Heyran Lee now. To Park. Jisoo Park. Hands it back to Jeon Park. Heyran Lee's got to go. Jisoo Park's got to go. And that doesn't work. Good pressure from China. Here's Lee with back-to-back buckets. Banking home the first one. And then straight away, getting it back from Jisoo Park and knocking down a deep 3. Ice cold.
Well, it's a great example. She gets chased, she puts it on the floor, pulls up, they go under, she stops and shoots the 3. It sounds pretty straightforward, but you've got to have the IQ to do it and the quality.
Wang back on the floor for the first time in a long time after committing her 3rd foul earlier on in the game. Doesn't make an immediate impact. Park gives it to Jeon Park. Jisoo Park gets it back. Lee for 3 in a row perhaps. Gets fouled on the way in. So no points in this quarter for Jisoo Park. We know she was off with an injury for the majority of it. But Korea would love her to bring something in these last 2 minutes to give her team the advantage heading into the 3/4 time break. Jiyeon Park. Lee wants that 3 in a row, doesn't get it. It's back with her now though. Jisoo Park backing down on Shu Han. And the end one! My goodness! We asked for points and she gave us that in spades.
Well, she must have seen the graphic that said she hadn't scored, but that's a super move because she's extending over Han there. She used her body to create a little contact, then extended. You saw the emotion as well.
This is a crucial free throw here. Knocks it down. Now a 6-point buffer for Korea. An immense response out of the timeout. An 8-0 run. And then a steal. Lee once again has been the catalyst. Jiyeon Park off to the line.
That's tough. That's a tough take. She wasn't backing down. There's no way Han was going to get there if she went straight away. When China run that flex cut and and Korea switch it, unless you go straight away, there are too many hands in the lane. And that's another Chinese turnover where their execution was just too slow and running an option that's been scouted and they've decided how they're going to defend it.
So a timeout called. Korea 52, leading China 46. Let's head into the Chinese timeout. So a minute 30 left in this third period. Can China continue to work their way back into the game, or can Park and Korea take over? It's been an immense battle between these two. Han with 21 points and 7 rebounds. Park with 12 points and 5 rebounds, but the stats don't tell the full picture. It's been an immense matchup. And if Park can continue the way she's going, it'll be a game-winning matchup. For now, it's Jiyeon Park at the line. And Jin went in a little bit early. Thought it was just the one. One to come. That's now a 10-0 run for Korea. And we know the timeout responses have been great. That one was called by China, so let's see what they have here. Jin, Han, gets Jin back. Gao, Lee, haven't called her name in a while. Oh, good pass to Han. Count that, off to the line. The connection between those two is fantastic. Here's Mong Lee. Barely even needed to look for that pass. Just knew where Han was and fed her to the basket with one to come. Park kicking herself there.
Totally kicking herself, because that's her third foul. And an unnecessary foul. She was never going to block it. You just got to say it sometimes. All right, okay.
And here we go. Shu Han coming off for the first time this game. So 1 minute and 8 seconds here. Jisoo Park also coming off too.
It's a good call with Park. You know, they're going to spend, there should be 3 more possessions. They're going to spend 2 of them with the ball, so it's not a good enough, there's no reward. Nice pass.
Oh, and they needed to finish that one. Haven't seen Dunby Kim in a while. An Jin on for her first minutes guarding Jin from China. Mong Lee now. Rattles it home. China within 3. 34 seconds left in this third period. Cheon Park up against Jin. Lee just wants an option. Gets Heyran Lee, just rises above. Mong Lee's there for the board. They've got 17 seconds to work with to try and level it. Instead, they go within a point, thanks to Gao. What a contest. Korea, what's their last move? It's a turnover. So China are quick enough. They can take the lead heading into 3/4 time. Jisoo Park can only watch on. Mong Lee didn't elect to go for it, but what a contest we have on our hands. We are set for a grandstand finish here at Sydney Olympic Park. The crowd are feeling it. I hope you at home can feel it as well. At the end of the 3rd quarter, it's Korea 54, leading China 53. The energy in the arena is electric. The stats on your screen, Mark Clark, and they've somehow gone back to favour China a little bit.
Well, a little bit, and it's largely because Korea have missed and haven't created as many easy options in transition as we said at the half. You know, they haven't turned the ball over anywhere near as much, and that's given them the opportunity to get things out of their offense that they want. And they've been taking better shots. Their percentages are great in that 3rd quarter. Jisoo Park will obviously come back at the start. It's just like, it's a 10-minute game now. And, you know, is the fact that Wuhan's been out there for the whole game going to be a factor? Is the fact that Korea have had to do pretty much the same thing with Jihan Park? There's so many little subplots in the game, but at the end of the day, both teams know how they can win this game. If China take care of the ball, I think they win. If Korea can get back into that transition type game off of stops, then they'll win. Or no one's in made, you know, obviously Park's on 3, but Kim Dan-bi, she's in good shape. This is just set up. And there's the scenario for everyone to just realize that if Korea win this, they'll go 2nd in the group. They'll have a much, much easier classification game than they will if they're 3rd. The prize is immense for them. They're trying to avoid Australia and or Japan, so it's they've given themselves a chance. If someone had offered them a 1-point game up at the beginning of the 4th, before the game, I think they'd have taken it.
Absolutely. You can see Shuhan just massaging that knee. The Courtside 1891 app is the place to be. By scanning the QR code, you can download it to your phone and keep up with all the updates as we head to a thrilling finish of this game in the FIBA Women's Asia Cup here in Sydney.
Well, Wuhan's going to get a blow at the start of the 4th. Extend the quarter break. I can't see her being there long. Nice move, though, I think.
4th quarter's tipped off. It's Korea leading by 1. Can they win this game and cause the upset? Can China bounce back and go 3 in a row and make absolutely sure they finish top of their group?
Well, they've got momentum. There's no way they're coming into this game. It doesn't matter. They want to be 3-0. They want to come into this trying to get that we haven't won a tournament for 12 years off their back.
Here's Lee with the first shot at the first bucket. Just like that, China lead. And hang on, we might have some, oh no.
That's the
I thought the crowd was telling me something I didn't know. They weren't happy with Dun Big Kim tying her shoelaces.
That's what it was. Surely they're going to give Park a touch without Wuhan in the game. You'd have thought so.
Kang, crucial for Korea. So too is Kim. An, up against her fellow number 5, throws it away.
And the on-ball defense for Wang Siyu was just out of the top drawer. We're going to get a replay of the jump shot, which was a really nice little flash cut. But down the other end, Parker cleared the middle, and there was no help. And the on-ball defense was just out of the top drawer and generated the turnover.
Wang gets it back from Gao. Gao goes for a big 3. Zhang has been strong on the boards all game, forces the jog ball. Both teams feeling it. China up by 1. Zhang just getting slapped in the face there.
That's a big time effort by An to put her hands and her head and everything in that.
Dun Big Kim looks for an option. Goes cross court to Park. Jisoo Park gets fouled as she pulled down the rebound.
And that's what they lose without Han in the game. No, the rebounding is nowhere near the same. Jisoo Park can really get after it. But you do wish they'd give her a touch just to keep her in rhythm.
On. Can't find that option. Goes long to Park. Making a move on Gao. Good, solid defense.
It absolutely was.
Wang. Now she's locked at the top of the key. Goes herself up against Kim. And Dun Big Kim will do that to you. An. Park getting a lot of push and shove in the background. Kim up against Lee. Kang finding it difficult out there at the moment. And she'll go to the line for her troubles.
You'd love Park to get a touch of the ball. I keep saying it, but the way that she's quite prepared to her role in that to just clear the middle, take the help away, and create for her teammate to go to the hoop. That's the second possession in a row where she has played hard, tried to post hard, gets guarded, clears the middle, and they've been rewarded again with a trip to the free throw line.
Big free throws coming here. Wang has to sit because that was her 4th foul. So it'll be up to Wan Lee for the rest of the game, or for most of the game, you sense, to be that point guard and be that leader on the floor. Kang misses. Scores level. Mong Lee. Oh, great intercept there by An, the smallest player on the floor.
She had no right to get back in the play. They were poor to start with, Korea in transition. She had no right to get there, and she just puts the extra effort in, breaks up the play, and gives her team a chance to set their defense.
Gao, Zhang, Mong Lee. Looking for some space, can't find it. Instead finds Zhang. That's a great feed.
Well, we've said it all game. She's one of those players that can make differences. That's a super pass.
Kim. Jisoo Park, here's her touch. Can she get a basket to go with it?
Fouled.
Fouled on the way in by Gao. Let's take a look at this. Pass from Mong Lee, dumping it in to Ru Zhong. And it gives China the narrow lead. And look at that, Shuhan back on the floor. 24 points, 7 rebounds. She's been monstrous. Jisoo Park looking for a 13th point here. Won't get it. So Korea yet to score this term. They've missed some free throws in the process. And you can hear the boos of the crowd. Park silences them. Jin to Lee. Wants some movement. Han. Wuzhong. Wanted Han again, instead we'll have to kick it out to Lee. Shot clock down to 4. Oh, just passed into the legs of Dunby Kim. An gets it back to Kim. Bounce pass into Park. An with it again. Nowhere to go. So she goes herself, but don't do that against Han. Number 1 rule, Mong Lee. Hurts! That hurts! But it's so good for China. A 4-point lead. 6 minutes left in this ball game. What a game we have on our hands. Dunby Kim needs this bucket, gets this bucket. When you need someone to stand up, it is often Dunby Kim. 10 points, 4 from 8 from the field. Han thinks about the 3, gives it to Wan Lee instead, pulls up, knocks that one down as well. Back-to-back threes for China. They've been huge from beyond the arc. Oh, and here we go again. Wan Lee with the steal. Has Mong Lee. Happy to share it around. Timeout called. What a run of plays there from China. And you can hear the roar of the crowd. Mong Lee knocking down that crucial 3, letting us all know about it as well. Dunby Kim responding. We thought Korea might be able to pop back into this game, but then China on the way back. Get another 3 from Yuan Lee this time. And China extend their buffer, 65-58. Let's head into the Korea timeout. So coming out of the timeout, China hold a 7-point advantage. 5 minutes left to play. And the points by quarter on your screen. Korea came out firing 21 points to 12. Then China brought it back. 20 points to 17 in the second. Kept going in that trend. 21 points to 16 in the third. And now have obliterated Korea to start this one. 12 points to 4. How did Korea respond from their timeout? They've been really good all game at giving something for their coach. Jisoo Park's been their leader out there. She goes up against Shu Han. Lee has been equally as good. She's trapped, gives it to Park. Fouled.
Well, you can't ask either way for much more. Defensively, they were super that time, China. They've been great in the second half. Korea, patient, yeah, could have taken it, could have been a bit more aggressive like they were earlier in the game, but they finished going to the ring, finished by generating contact. And we said at the half, if China didn't turn the ball over, they would be fine. And they haven't turned the ball over in this second half. And you saw in the highlight plays open shots coming out of that. And it's just take care of the basketball, get more opportunities, and take away the majority of Korea's opportunities to score. Still plenty of time for Korea to try and dig themselves out of this one.
Absolutely. Still just over 5 minutes left in this game. It's a 5-point margin. Won Lee wants to extend that margin. Han's been quiet this fourth period. Can she get her chance here? Kicks it out to Young. Can't join the party. Korea ball. Young, another one that's been quiet. 2 points for the game. So a sub made.
Suhan's
and guess what? That's her fourth foul.
Yeah.
That's why she's been quiet. It's why she's been taking a few more seats in this game. And she has to sit again.
And you have to... They did a great job while she was out. Don't forget she sat out for the start of fourth when they've had this really, really impressive run. But without her in the game, that's another opportunity for Korea to get back in. They make both these throws. It's a single possession game again.
And China in the bonus as well.
So if anyone was thinking this was getting a little comfortable for the highest ranked team here in Sydney, think again, because this Korean team realized the prize at the end of this game.
Park makes the second. Wang was the other one also on 4 fouls we alluded to earlier in the game. She's been sitting for much of the second half. Gala's got a big role to play, but she's on 3 fouls as well. Mong Lee, is she the one to step up? Here go Korea, off and running again. Oh, great transition basketball, dumping Kim! And a big, yeah, comes out of the mouth of Jisoo Park. Korea back within one, another timeout called. The Korea fans behind the bench going crazy.
Well, at some point, China have to answer the question, what do they save Wuhan, or do they, by keeping her out of the game now, which is probably the right call, do they let Korea establish an advantage? Or do they bring her back and just tell her, you can't foul? It's a tough call. Most of the time you're like, I'd like to have my star in there. Then again, the game has been so physical, the inconsistency of some of the calls, it is a risk. But you can't say enough great things about Kim Danby. You can't say enough great things about her. She's leading the break, she's getting hands into break-up plays. And if she does it, everyone has to do it, because sets the tone for this whole team. What a game. We know the prize is big. The quality's been great. The intensity's great. And, wow, there's a great atmosphere in this gym.
Korea, this is their second tight game. We know they had that one, their first game on Monday, go down to the wire against New Zealand. So they've been on the wrong end of a close game. They don't want a repeat of that. They're putting in everything. China keep the ball for now. Wan Lee thinks about the three, then goes to a different position. Zhang, good hands. And Young just calls for some calm.
Well, they offered her the shot and she took it, and they just didn't clean up.
And an offensive foul. And Gal, that's her fourth now as well. So 3 players for China on 4 fouls. Their main point guard, their main center, and Song Gao, who is going to do much of the work.
Young didn't make it easy for her, because she went one way, came back, went one way, came back.
Incredible scenes. Lee. Oh, she's been doing that all game. Korea back in the lead. Can't you believe it? She just takes the fizz out of the stadium.
Big possession, this.
Young, what could she do with it? Gives it to Lee, who's been hot from three-point range. So too Mong Lee. This time she drives in. Foul on the way in.
If that's not an unsportsmanlike foul, I don't really know what is.
Certainly what the crowd want.
Well, we're going to have to have a look at it, but it was right in front of us. And to me, without seeing a replay, she just looked to grab her arm.
So I believe that's Dumby Kim's fourth foul as well.
And
they will check it. Coach's challenge, I believe. Is she gonna call?
Yeah.
So yeah, it is a coach's challenge.
Let's have a look. Well, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to look. But you're going from the wrong side and reaching across and holding, and referees do not like you holding on.
Let's take a listen. Shaping up to be a crucial call in the game.
Palm contact, right here. What do you think? I call normal. Yeah, I call for the reaching.
What do you have now?
For me, it's still a reaching foul. What do you think?
Contact for me, she's gone for ball.
Yeah. She went for the ball first. It's a contact.
It's a normal
Then it's a normal foul. Normal act for me also. So we will remain.
Okay. Confirm it?
Confirm, we will remain. Normal foul. All right. Okay?
So it's a normal foul.
Well,
still Dumby Kim's fourth. It's still dangerous.
You heard the interpretation, didn't you? That it wasn't excessive force. Well, I don't know. Was it an action? Not sure on that either. Probably, I'd say the right call given the state of the game, but that shouldn't really be a factor.
Here we go. Young. That one's missing. Zhang somehow kept it in, but it was to Korea's advantage. Park thought about pulling up. Lee did. And Zhang has been valiant on the rebounds. And Lee knocks that one out.
Han's got to come back. I know she's on 4 fouls.
Instead, it's going to be Wei Na Jin coming back into the contest. And Li Wei Young will take a seat.
It's a story of people staying or going from the game. Kim Dan-bi on 4 stays and 1 sits.
Both coaches seeing it differently out there. Lee. To Heyran Lee. Park.
It's a great decision.
On Gal, goes to work on her, spins around her, can't score on her, can't get the putback either. Desperation doesn't pay off for Jisoo Park, and now China have an opportunity to take back the lead.
Huge miss. Both of them, huge miss.
And they're really attacking Mong Lee. Jisoo Park feeling it. And look who's back into the game. It's Shu Han. 2 minutes 46.
Jisoo Park looks absolutely exhausted. Great move. You'd have put your mortgage on her making that one of those two.
Lee, tell you who else you can put your mortgage on, Han, but instead she misses, gets her own rebound, loses the ball. Park at the bottom of it all.
The shot clock ran on for about 2 or 3 seconds. It's just, the buzzer had gone, the whistle had gone, and it's still running. Surely they're going to look at it. If I've seen it, surely they're going to look at it. Fortunately, the Australian official's on it, I think. I don't even know, did the ball hit the ring on that tough shot she took? I would even start by looking at that. It was an awful looking shot because there was a lot of bodies, but may have hit the ring, but I can't see how there's only 2 seconds left on the possession.
The refs, both refs are at the score table. Just discussing. Let's have a look and see for ourselves.
They're just going to look at the jump ball now.
Han's lucky that wasn't a foul.
Yep. But they're going to do something with the shot clock because they're going to reset it at whatever time, unless they do think that the ball hit the ring, which they should be able to review. Yeah, they're going to have to review that.
Jackie Dover just speaking to coach Son Min Chong. And now speaking to Wei Zhang as well. And we're going to have an official review. Jackie Dover walks over to the screen.
There's no video available.
But it was 46 on the inbound and 14 on the shot clock.
So that's quite crucial. I hate to say it, but we sort of need the video.
Surely there must be the ability to look at the shot to see if it actually hit the ring.
Then the shot clock runs on, so we need to alter the shot clock, but the game clock needs to be altered too based off what time went on. So can we run from 46 and 14, please?
46. Okay. 46, 42.
Well, maybe it didn't hit the ring. They're asking to go for 46. They've got a chance to see if that hit the ring.
So we're going down to 35 on game clock.
Yep.
And we're going 4.0 on shot clock.
Yep.
You're
Shot clock.
comfortable with that?
Yes, 4-second shot clock and minus 11.
2:35?
Yeah,
11.
2:35 and 11.
You go out to control me.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they got to 2:35 unless the clock didn't run.
The clock's actually stopped. It's 2:46 the whole time while the shot clock was running. So
right.
the game clock actually didn't make a move at all.
So that's the right to get that down. Now they've said that the ball didn't hit the ring, which is correct because we saw that, and it's now only a 4-second end line possession for China. And what a big 4 seconds this is going to be.
2 minutes 46 left in the game. They are going to adjust that clock. So 4 point.
I think it's 4.0 and 2:35. There you go.
There we go. We've got that adjustment.
If you're Korea now, it has to be just one, no foul and one shot. You can't give them more than one shot.
And there's the shot. Much to the delight of China and Ru Zhang.
That's a super move by Ru Zhang. Really read the floor.
I think that's her first points of the game as well. What a way to insert yourself. Jisoo Park can insert herself in the biggest way possible. China moved down the floor again. It's swatted away from Han, but Mong Lee out of nowhere came up with it. Lee to Mong Lee. Going to work on Heiran Lee. And now Han for an open three. Oh. That is good! Shu Han is ice cold! Timeout call. China lead by 2.
I don't think there's a timeout.
All right, they're back on the floor. I got too excited.
Yeah, I don't know why. I really don't know why they've stopped the game from the table unless there's been a mistake on the clock again.
Oh, the tense moments just continue, Mark.
I tell you, Zhang Ru Zhang has been immense. The offensive rebound. You said it's her first 2 points. You can't get a bigger 2 at this stage. Then she comes up with the offensive rebound.
10 rebounds, 4 assists and 4 points. My apologies. Yeah. So I missed one earlier in the game, but that's her first points in this period.
Huge, huge contribution the whole of the Korean defense played everybody else as the person bringing the ball in or who they were going to shoot. She recognized it, had a little hole to penetrate in, made the shot. And then on the miss on the tough one that Meng Lee took, she's on the glass. And it's those things that coaches recognize them or whatever else. The guys in the crowd are looking at the shot. It's just a tremendous effort by her. Korea still have a foul to give, which could be crucial as this moves on.
Jiyeon Park. It's been immense this game. Lee. Under 10 seconds to work with on the Korean shot clock. And it's an offensive foul, can you believe it? A minute 36, 70 to 68.
It's not as if the officials haven't been making that call all game. And again, the handle didn't help the screener because it wasn't consistent where it went, didn't just set up and come off, backwards, forwards, and Jisoo Park had to go looking for where she wanted the screen set.
Han to Lee. China can increase their lead. Meng Lee gets it back, goes in again, this time Zhang.
They're going to walk the floor to shoot the throws. I think Meng has been charged with the personal. But look at the players now, they have no idea what's been called. And the officials have got to be really clear at this moment.
Oh, I think the call goes with China.
Really?
And now
both sets of players stood and didn't know what was being called.
Both teams in the bonus, a minute 15 left. Each foul crucial now. Lee extends their lead to 3. Crowd wait with bated breath. Second one's good as well.
Coolest person in the gym, wasn't she? Everyone else is screaming and whatever. She's just focused, makes the throws, makes it a 2-possession game.
4-point lead for China, hence why Korea's called the timeout. A minute 15 left. What have they got left in the tank? Let's listen to Son Min-jong.
I mean, the one surprising thing is they haven't gone back to Kang, the person who never sees a bad shot. They've struggled a bit. Do you make the big call and bring it back, or do you go with the players that are in the game at the moment? Personally, I'd have had her in the game. The 2-guard set that they've gone without her hasn't really given them what they wanted, but they're going to advance the basketball.
Kang, one of the key playmakers of the game for Korea. A minute and 15 seconds to get the win here. And what a win it would be. Kim to Lee. They need buckets and they need them quickly, and Lee delivers!
Super decision, super decision. Still had to make the play, but...
Under a minute to go, China by 2. Every move is crucial. Meng Lee thought about the 3, they're guarding her, wearing her like a glove. Zhang found some space, Han got it swatted away from her. Jin was there to help, Yuan Lee! Zhang again comes up trumps with the boards. And Mong Lee just wants to hold things for the time being.
Simply have to get a stop now. Simply have to get the stop.
5 on the shot clock. Lee doesn't bank it home. And Korea get the possession. 23 seconds left. Shot clock and game clock pretty much equal. This is it. This is it for Korea. They need to go. They need to go now. Lee has been great all game and breaks it in. Scores level. Oh my word. What is this game? 7.9 seconds left. Timeout called. 72 apiece. Crowd going absolutely bananas in Sydney. This is the most important 8 seconds, or just under, of Korea's basketball career, really. Let's take a listen into the timeout and see what they're thinking.
안 되면 지수야, 네가 순간적으로 이거 인터셉트 노려는 보라고啊，还有车位的话，这个也要接球，这个比较注意反跑啊，这个没有，这个没有就高不挡拆接啊，7、5上去打，打走，这个地方中不对眼，假眼不拆啊，注意假眼不拆这里啊，张罗你注意假眼不拆。
So here's the shot that tied it, that set Sydney Olympic Park alight. Lee banking it home, cool as ice. Incredible scenes.
Be really important now to see how Korea play the inbound. You've got to believe that China will try and go into hand, but if it goes in there, she's got a great chance to get a shot away or get fouled.
It's in China's hands now.
Wow.
They can win it, or we go into overtime. Wan Lee couldn't get the shot up. Korea swatted away. We're going into overtime. Oh my goodness. It's probably a fitting result. These two teams cannot be split. At the end of regulation, they have put everything into this game. Korea came out firing. China clawed back and clawed back and clawed back. We knew they would. And here we are at the end of the fourth quarter. China 72, Korea 72.
Well, statistically, China, apart from shooting the 3-ball pretty badly, have put together a great second half. It's easy to sit here and question, but you have the best player on the floor having a great game who doesn't, our only role in those last 7 seconds was to set a screen. And it wasn't, and that took everybody to the ball, and that made it a tough shot. So it's an interesting call. Obviously, they would have talked about in-game situations, but Han not getting a touch. Hey, and before I forget to say it, 11 offensive rebounds for Ru Zhang. 6 offensive rebounds, and she had 4 in the last minute and a half. I mean, she was just immense in that. She really did keep China's opportunity to win the game alive. Made the 2, 11 double digits on the rebounds, and often those guys don't get enough credit. She's just been huge for them at a time when they took some bad shots and she cleaned up the mess.
That's the passage of play that got us to where we were. China could not get a shot up in the 7 seconds allocated to them in regulation time. And now we have 5 more minutes of extra basketball. We can watch this game all day.
Well, don't forget, Han's already on the 4 fouls. So she couldn't go for the last 5 minutes in regulation, but she's going to go for 5 in overtime. It's that sort of thing about protecting people when you might not necessarily get a benefit from doing it. There was never an opportunity for Kim Danby to come out of the game. They left her in.
We are in overtime in Sydney. China 72, Korea 72. 5 more minutes, or perhaps even more, the way this game's going. Danbi Kim's beat immense, and she gets the first bucket in overtime for Korea.
Huge, just huge.
Han, speaking of huge, Ru Zhang also been immense. Wan Li, you could say the same for every player out there right now. Mong Lee finds a way through.
Tough move because there's a lot of contact. She stepped through it, and both shots to the ring. Aggressive in overtime.
Lee to Kim. Gets it back out. Jisoo Park's with it now. Oh, just finds Kim again, and an easy miss. How much will that hurt? Heyran Lee with it now. Kim gets another chance at it. Goes up against Han, dumps it into Jisoo Park. And guess who was there? Zhang. Lee now. Dumps it into Han. It's been a great battle with Park. Zhang's there to help out. Han pops it in. 29 points for Shu Han.
What a decision by Zhang Ru. Just huge.
Lee has come up huge in these last moments of the game. Dumps it into Park. What a great find, and what a great finish. Scores level again. Lee has had to be the point guard for most of this game. Wang in foul trouble. Mong Lee took a heavy fall. Laterally, the foul was called on the way in.
Yeah.
Mong Lee still down. Jisoo Park can only watch on. So here's the foul. Just got tangled between 2 sets of Korean legs.
She was just late. There's nothing more than and there was a great moment where she realized she should have gone and was going to be late on the help. Just pick yourself up. It's a hard foul. Nothing's ever soft at this stage of a game. But she's also smart enough to take her time, gather herself. No need to rush to the free throw line.
Mong Lee at the free throw line. Crucial shots to come. There's one.
She just has this look that she loves the moment, loves being in that place to really give her team the opportunity to lead by 2.
24 points for Mong Lee. A 2-point lead for China. Park gets to work. Has to stop. Just lobs it over the top. Luckily, Kim was there. On for some late minutes. Jisoo Park nearly trips over but keeps her feet against Shu Han. Pops up the shot. It's missing. Shot clock violation. China can extend their lead with 2.5 minutes to go in overtime.
Surprised Kim gave it up that deep in the shot clock. You don't really need Park with it that far away from the hoop. Big opportunity for China now. 2-possession game if they get the right shot.
Wan Lee goes for it. Gets it! Are China home? That was monstrous, preposterous, every adjective you can think of. Wan Lee is small in stature, huge in big moments.
They go underneath the screen again. And when they've gone underneath the screen, she's been impressive. Hey, still 2:15 to go. Plenty of time. Super quality game. Super quality game.
왔다 갔다 하니까 좀 사람 달고 다니잖아 지금. 이해하겠지? 공격 하나만 성공하면 수비할 수 있으니까 좀 더 적극적으로 하라고 파울이라도 얻으라고. 빨리 해야지.
So 12 assists, 13 turnovers on the screen there for Korea. They're down 76 to 81, 2 minutes 15. Trying to have all the momentum right now, but 2 minutes and 15 seconds is an eternity in basketball terms. And they've got the ball in their hands at the moment, awaiting China to return to the court. Crowd get involved. Not a spare seat in the house. Here comes Korea. What do they have left? Lee Jisoo Park goes around hard, but she comes up trumps. Zhang to Jin. Into Lee. They can take some time here, China. Wan Lee. Into Mong Lee. Shot clock down to 4. Mong Lee gets on her bike and can't put the shot in. Big chance here for Korea. Down by 5 points. Kim's on 4 fouls. She's been immense all game. Jisoo Park. Jisoo Park! My word. 81 to 78. 3 points in it now. Hard hits the deck. Lee's able to mop up. And a foul called off the ball. 2 shots to come. Let's take a look at this here. Kim finding Park. Hits the long 2. And China will head to the line here. It's in the hands. The capable hands of Mong Lee.
This is the 3rd time she's been there in the last minute or so. Hasn't missed from the line and looks like she enjoys the moment.
So you'll see the foul in the top left corner of your screen.
It's a bit going on
to the crowd here.
Yeah. Ice in the veins if you just stand there and do that.
83 to 78 now. Time running out for Korea. Kang has lit it up all game from 3-point range. Not this time though. China back at it again. Han for a 30-piece. You betcha! My word. Park has to hit this, just has to, it does! They're still in it. Only narrowly, but still in it. 81 to 85, 35 seconds left. Mong Lee will take all the time in the world. Kang guarding her. They have to force a stop and they have to do it quickly. Mong Lee wants to go on her own. Can't back it in. Han spins, scores! Back-to-back buckets for Shu Han. And Korea just must fire. Park, that's not going to cut it. And China happy to hold the ball. Mong Lee has to get around a few, gives it to Wan Lee. They're now allowed to hold it. What a win for China! And the crowd go absolutely bananas. They have witnessed an absolute classic here at Sydney Olympic Park. And the final score after overtime is China 87, Korea 81. An incredible performance from both teams. Credit has to go to China and Korea. But China go 3 from 3 in the group stages, finish at top of the group. And they show why they are here to win it all.
Well, you raised it, I raised it before the game. They haven't won a championship for 12 years. To win championships, you have to find ways to win, and they found the way to win. They had lots of questions being asked. They also had to dig deep mentally, and you need contributions from across your roster. And they got some massive contributions out of Lowe.
Heaps of contributions there.
Yeah, massive contributions across players that are not the heroes normally, but as we said during the game, Zhang Ru was just immense, absolutely phenomenal. And taking the three over the screen, but you got to say the contribution that Mong Lee was tremendous, but they don't win without Zhu Wan. Every aspect of the game, as defensive stops late in the game, are clearing up the mess on the offensive glass. He was immense again. Just a tremendous performance by just an absolutely tremendous player. Hey, I tell you, if Korea put that sort of performance on the floor, they have a real shot at beating whoever loses tonight's game. They just have to realize that that's what it takes every day now at this competition. They were just immense. The only question, why did Yang not come back until the end? She had one quick three when really they needed someone else to sort of take some scoring load. But they were so good. Kim Dan-bi, just tell her not to retire. She's still far too young. And Park did her bit. It was just a phenomenal game. As good a game as we've seen so far. And if that's a taster for the knockout stages, we've got some great games to look forward to.
What a performance from China and Xu Han. 33 points, 11 rebounds. Mong Lee, 26 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. Ru Zhang with those 11 rebounds, 6 of those offensive. They just had so many contributors on the floor. Korea equally the same amount. Jisoo Park, 22 points, 8 rebounds. 14 points for Dan-bi King and Lee Soo-kang. And Lee, how massive was she in the final stages of the game? She did everything to get her team the win. 17 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds. But in the end, the China crowd are the ones that go home happy tonight, because their team has gone 3 from 3 in the group stages. Claimed a heart-stopping win over Korea. They were pushed to the absolute brink, but they responded in the only way they know how. And that's confirmation of how Group A sits. China first, New Zealand second, Korea third, Lebanon fourth. New Zealand defeating Lebanon 76-45 earlier on today. And then China, with the help of overtime, got the win over Korea 87-81 in what's been arguably the game of the tournament.
Oh, there's no argument.
I'm saving myself in case someone has other opinions, but damn, that was a good game.
Yeah. And
the China fans walk out happy tonight because it's China who get the overtime win over Korea, 87-81. Don't go anywhere. Japan taking on Australia. Can the basketball get even better next? We enjoyed your company tonight. We'll see you next time. What a win by China.